Let me tell you a quick story. There was a woman named Aisha, brilliant, funny, steady. She felt like she was loving more than she was being loved. She started with step one. She admitted it. She tracked the pattern for a month and found out she was the first mover 90% of the time. She had the conversation. He said he wanted to change. They set a 30-day plan, 2 date nights, no phones, and 1 appreciation each day. She guarded her peace, and when he forgot once, she reminded him. When he forgot a second time, she applied a consequence. No more making excuses for his no-shows. By day 30, he had changed enough that they kept going. They didn't become perfect, but their relationship became equally weighted because she refused to be the only one carrying the load. That's taking your power back while staying open to love. Before you point the finger, slow down and look in the mirror, because sometimes the one-sided story is a two-way street with one person doing all the talking. Checking yourself first isn't admitting defeat, it's choosing clarity. It's the difference between reacting from hurt and responding with wisdom. You want to know why that matters? Because relationships don't heal when both people clutch their excuses. They heal when somebody has the courage to do the honest work and call the roll. Start by asking yourself hard, specific questions. Have I been emotionally available or just physically present? Am I withholding affection because I'm hurt and expecting the other person to fill a hole I won't admit I dug? Do I listen to reply or listen to understand? These aren't soft questions, they're diagnostic tools. Answer them honestly, and your next move will be strategic, not sentimental. Reality check. It's easy to keep a scoreboard in your head. I did this, they did that. But emotional bookkeeping rarely captures nuance. Maybe you've been carrying the kids' schedule and the finances while your partner's been exhausted at work. Maybe you assumed they knew you were stressed and never asked for help. Own your part in the imbalance. That doesn't mean taking blame for their choices. It means getting clear about how your behavior contributes to the rhythm of the relationship. People mirror each other. If you're impatient, they get defensive. If you withdraw, they withdraw back. Your energy matters. Your action or inaction sets the tone. Practical check. Keep a week-long log. Not dramatic, just 3 columns: what you asked for, what you offered, and what you followed through on. Be brutally honest. Did you say you'd call later and you didn't? Did you promise a date night and let distractions win? Patterns show up in ink. When you see the ledger, you either see that you've been doing more than you thought, or that you're part of the problem. Either discovery is useful. Either gives you leverage to speak clearly. Next, practice humility without apology. Humility here isn't groveling, it's admitting you are human and willing to change. Say something like, I've been thinking about my part in this. I see where I pulled back, and I'm sorry. I want to try a different way. That kind of move disarms defensiveness and opens the door for reciprocal honesty. People respond to confession more than they do to accusation. If you lead with blame, you'll get more walls. If you lead with the truth of your own faults, you create space for repair. Finally, pair reflection with action. Self-checks without behavior change are virtue performances. If you decide you'll be more present, plan it, schedule the call, turn off the phone at dinner, set a recurring date night, or book a counseling session. Small, consistent changes beat loud apologies every time. And if you do this work and the pattern stays the same, that's the information you need to decide next steps. Checking yourself first is not a retreat from boundaries or standards. It's a discipline that makes your boundaries smart and your decisions unclouded by resentment. Do the homework on you, and you'll either save the thing worth saving or leave with no regrets. That's how grown people act. Communicate your needs clearly and unapologetically, because silence is not strength, it's slow suffocation. Too many people sit in relationships hoping their partner will magically get it, when in reality, unspoken needs turn into unspoken resentments. You think you're keeping the peace, but what you're really doing is burying landmines under the foundation. One day they explode. The truth is, people aren't mind readers. If you don't tell them what makes you feel loved, valued, and secure, you can't get mad when they miss the mark. The way you communicate your needs matters just as much as what you say. If you come at it like an accusation, you never listen, you don't care, you're selfish, their defenses will go up and the conversation's over before it begins. But if you frame it as a truth about yourself, I feel disconnected when we don't spend time together, or I need more appreciation for the things I do, you invite a response instead of resistance. You're not pointing fingers, you're opening doors. A respectful tone turns confrontation into collaboration. And let's be real, communicating your needs is not begging. It's not nagging. It's not weakness. It's teaching someone how to love you correctly. Think about it, every other area of life we're clear. You go to a barber, you tell them the haircut you want. You go to a restaurant, you place an order. But in relationships, we clam up and pray the other person guesses right. That's a losing game. You've got to put your heart on the table with specifics, not hints. If quality time is your love language, don't just say, I want more attention. Say, it would mean a lot to me if we had a date night every Friday. If words of affirmation fuel you, don't say, you don't appreciate me. Say, hearing you tell me I'm doing a good job makes me feel loved. Clear beats vague every time. Now, don't mistake clarity for control. Communicating your needs doesn't mean demanding they meet them on your terms. It means giving them the roadmap so they have a fair chance to show up. If they choose not to, that's a different conversation. But at least you'll know you did your part. You showed up with honesty, not silent expectations. The beauty of this practice is it forces you to honor your own worth. When you speak your needs without fear, you affirm to yourself, I deserve to be heard, I deserve to be loved the right way. And that shift in energy is powerful. People respect people who respect themselves. If you're always quiet, tolerating crumbs, they'll keep giving you crumbs. But when you voice what you need with calm confidence, you teach them to step up or step aside. At the end of the day, clear communication is love in action. It's how you test whether your partner is willing to meet you in the middle or whether you've been trying to dance alone. And when you communicate with courage, you can walk away, if necessary, knowing you gave the relationship a fair shot without losing yourself in silence. Set non-negotiable boundaries, because love without boundaries turns into bondage. Too many people confuse unconditional love with unlimited tolerance, and that's how you end up drained, disrespected, and disappointed. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're guardrails to keep the relationship healthy. They tell your partner, this is how far you can go, and this is how far I'll go. Cross this line, and you won't get the same version of me anymore. Without that structure, you leave yourself wide open for someone else to dictate the terms of your happiness. Think about it. Every area of life has boundaries. The bank sets boundaries on your overdraft. Your job sets boundaries on work hours. Even nature has boundaries. The ocean can't come past the shore without consequences. Yet in relationships, people are scared to set limits because they're afraid of losing the person. But the truth is, if setting a boundary makes you lose someone, they were never invested in the real you to begin with. Boundaries don't chase the right person away, they filter the wrong one out. Setting boundaries starts with knowing your worth. If you don't value yourself, you won't protect yourself. You'll let someone talk to you any kind of way, treat you like an afterthought, or drain your energy because you're too scared to speak up. But when you're rooted in self-respect, you draw a line and you enforce it. You don't just say, don't talk to me like that. You follow through with consequences. A boundary without a consequence is just a wish. And let me tell you, people respect rules they know come with action. Boundaries also create clarity. They eliminate the gray areas that cause confusion and resentment. For example, if you don't want late night disrespectful texts, you say, after 10 p.m., I won't respond. That's my time for rest. If you expect loyalty, you don't just assume it. You say, I don't tolerate dishonesty. If that happens, I'm gone. It's not about threats, it's about standards. Standards teach people how to treat you, and boundaries protect those standards. And here's the kicker. Boundaries actually build intimacy, not destroy it. Because when your partner knows where the lines are, they feel safer. They don't have to guess. They know how to love you without stepping on landmines. Boundaries cut down on silent anger and hidden resentment because you've made the terms clear. What looks like toughness on the outside is actually love on the inside. It's the love you have for yourself that makes space for a healthier love with someone else. So don't ever feel guilty for setting boundaries. Guilt is the enemy of growth. If you lower your standards just to keep somebody, you'll eventually lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, the relationship was doomed from the start. Boundaries are your way of saying, I respect me, and I need you to respect me too. And the right person, the one who truly values you, will honor those boundaries not because you force them, but because they care about keeping you in their life. When you stop living for other people's approval and start investing in your own growth, your life changes faster than any motivational quote can promise. Chasing approval is a small life strategy. It asks you to bend, shrink, and perform so someone else can feel comfortable. Growth is a giant life strategy. It asks you to show up messy, learn the lesson, and become the person who naturally attracts the respect you used to beg for. People who survive the toughest seasons aren't the ones who collected the most likes. They're the ones who used rejection as fertilizer. They turned every not yet into a class, every closed door into a lesson plan. That's the posture you want: curious, relentless, and disciplined. Start by changing the question you ask yourself every morning. Instead of, will they approve? Ask, what skill will I build today? That simple swap redirects your energy from waiting to working. Take one thing that's been holding you back: communication, finances, fitness, spiritual depth, and get brutal about the smallest habit that moves the needle. 10 minutes a day, one chapter a week, one conversation practiced. These micro investments compound. You won't see them at first, but in 9 months, you'll have a different capacity, a different confidence, and a different crowd around you. Growth also makes you resilient to criticism. When you earn your progress, critics become background noise rather than weather you can't control. That doesn't mean you ignore all feedback. It means you learn to vet who's qualified to speak into your life. Some commentary is noise, some is data. The difference is the source. A mentor who's walked the road gives data. A keyboard warrior gives noise. Learn to filter. Keep the valuable lessons, toss the rest, and keep moving forward with a posture of learning, not proving. Another key: celebrate competence, not applause. Notice the difference. Applause is external and fleeting. Competence is internal and lasting. Applause can vanish overnight. Competence stays with you when the applause is gone. If you're building competence, handling money wisely, communicating clearly, stewarding your time, people will notice. But if they don't, you still win because you've changed. That mindset shift protects your peace, because your self-worth stops hanging on a crowd's vote and starts hanging on your own receipts. Don't confuse growth with instant perfection. Growth is messy, full of false starts and course corrections. It asks you to fail forward in public sometimes, so be kind to yourself in the process. Track progress, not perfection. Keep a small journal where you write one win and one lesson each week. Over time, that log becomes evidence. When doubt shows up, you flip through it and remind yourself you are on a path, not a popularity contest. Finally, remember that growth attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. When you start centering growth, you'll notice some contacts drift away, not because you're unlovable, but because your standard changed. That's good. The space left behind is where better relationships grow. You'll find mentors who challenge you, friends who celebrate your consistency, and partners who match your effort. That kind of alignment doesn't come from chasing likes or approval. It comes from doing the steady, often invisible work that real life rewards. So stop asking for permission and start investing in progress. Build a skill, keep your standards, and let your life be the proof. Approval is a short-term currency. Growth is a lifelong bank account. Deposit daily. Your future self will thank you for the compound interest. So listen, you don't have to prove your worth to someone who's already decided how much you're worth. Do the work, name the truth, gather the receipts, ask the hard question, and give them a fair shot with a plan. Protect your peace while they try. Celebrate real change, not theater. And if the pattern stays the same, walk away like a person who remembers their value. Calm, planned, and unshaken. Love is a partnership, not a job you do alone. If it's one-sided after you've shown up, spoken up, and given a fair runway, then leaving isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself. Stay kind, stay brave, and stay disciplined. Build your life so full of purpose that no one's neglect can make you small. When reciprocity returns, welcome it. When it doesn't, move on with your dignity intact. You reclaimed your power. Now live like it. Let me tell you something. Love was never meant to drain you. It was meant to fill you. If you're the only one pouring, if you're the only one showing up, if you're the only one fighting, that ain't love, that's survival. And you were not put on this earth just to survive. You were made to thrive. Don't beg anybody to see your worth. Don't chase anyone to love you right. If they can't step up when you've given them every chance, then it's time to step out with your head held high. Because when you choose yourself, when you protect your peace, when you respect your own value, that's when God sends people who know how to love you the way you deserve.